Highlight reel plays, explosive and crafty. There is only one name that fits that mold, and his name is Ja Morant. Welcome back to Court Vision, the show where we break down the film, the numbers, and the storylines that shape the game we love. I'm Jake Bender, and today we're diving into the electrifying, polarizing, high-flying game of Ja Morant. We'll look at how Ja creates offense, where his explosiveness changes defenses, and the underrated aspects of his game. So let's cue up the film. When you watch Ja on film, the first thing that jumps out is how quickly he gets from the perimeter to the rim. On Synergy data, he ranks among the league's leaders in drives per game, but what the numbers don't capture is how the defenses react. Ja Morant's specialty is to get to the rim and apply pressure to a defense. Now we're going to watch this clip, and of course it's a crazy finish, and I think he actually overthought this. We will see Zach Edey on the post here, actually taking away a help side defender and sealing him off. Ja Morant, knowing that Zach Edey has a size mismatch, when doesn't he, should be able to dump this pass off. But Ja Morant's ability to hang in the air and finish at the rim is unmatched and unlike anybody else in the league. So this ends up being a good take anyway, and he makes the layup. But Ja Morant applying pressure to a defense and making them rotate as much as they did here is why he's so special. Ja Morant still needs to work on his ability to shoot the three ball, but because he's such a threat, Derek White decides to overplay him and try and deny him of the ball, and it fails. And we just got done talking about how Ja Morant can hang in the air to change the way he's going to finish. And here just happens to be a dunk instead of a crafty layup. I know it's fun to watch a crafty finisher, but I think it's even more impressive if you can use your body to create a shot. And I know this looks really crazy by the way Ja Morant looks in this screenshot, but look at this. He puts a shoulder into the defender, and as we play this through, he will create enough space to get a floater off, which is essentially a little bit of a mix of a mid-range here, but he's still leaning forward, and it's a leaner into a floater, and it's an important shot late in the game, and a good tool to have as somebody's expecting you to finish in a crafty way, to be able to use your body and throw them off is another level up. Remember to rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as they help us the most, and feel free to interact with us on all socials. Come comment what you would like to see next, comment what move of the week you would like to see next Wednesday. Once again, I'll mention that Ja Morant needs to improve his three-point shooting, but when you can recover on a play like this, Clark is going to throw this ball up to him on a backdoor lob. And this is what makes him such a threat, right? If you decide to deny him, to not let him get the ball back, he's just going to go right to the rim like he does, even if he has the ball. So here we're going to see him get an easy lob, and you see this more oftentimes than not, and it's just honestly lack of attention on defense. The funny part is that I can talk about poor defensive rotations leading to easy Ja Morant buckets, but even for a prime rim-protecting Rudy Gobert, being in position did not help him here. We also have yet to talk about Ja Morant's handling ability, in which I think he's actually the top 5 for best ball handlers in the league, and he hits him with an in-and-out move into a behind-the-back, and again, creates space to get to the rim, and even with help side, still finishes over the top. And just like others who are very good at finishing at the rim, such as Jalen Green, who we covered 2 weeks ago, you should go check that video out while you can, also can score in transition. Ja Morant, being such a rim-running attacker and puts pressure on the defense at the rim, will score in transition. Now, he's not just dunking on people. He has a craft of maneuvering his body at the rim. Anything from scoop layups to floaters, he's got it. Now, here's where I propose the million-dollar question. Can he maintain this playstyle over the next 10 years? Here's where Ja doesn't get enough credit. He's averaging close to 8 assists per game, and when you watch film, it's not just basic reads. It's cross-court lasers, drop-offs, no-looks. He's manipulating defenses with his speed. Let's dive right into Ja Morant's playmaking ability. And here we'll see him have a drop-off pass to Jaren Jackson, but I want to freeze it for a little bit. The guy you see here is stopping the ball, and if you're stopping the ball at this point, at the restricted circle, you're already in trouble. He's lucky that Ja Morant didn't go to try and dunk on him. Now, you'll also see somebody here who's going to rotate up to the three-point line where Luke Kennard's about to fill in at. That's fine. But the thing is, Jaren Jackson's a free runner. So you'll see another defender here try and recover, and he's way too late. And you have to stop the ball and be in front of the guy cutting. You have to stop his path to the rim, and we do not see that here. So Ja Morant's ability to see three different defenders and where his teammates are and how the defense is going to separate is high level playmaking. We see Ja Morant downhill again, and you'll see this defender step up to him. Now, this is only proper rotation number one. You need to have a second rotation on the backside, which should come from this guy here to drop on Clark on the right block. We will not see this happen, and in turn, Ja Morant will see that there is no shift, and it's a look off to that defender for an easy drop off behind the back pass. Ja Morant can be a transition threat, not only attacking the basket, but also playmaking. And here we'll see it. Here you see Brook Lopez and Prince going to almost double the ball. And I feel like this is Prince's mistake because Lopez is already picking up Ja Morant at the 3-point line. Now you'll also see Jaren Jackson rim running like he usually does, as we've seen in a previous clip. And he's going to go right behind both of these defenders with nobody stopping him on the way to the basket. And this is an easy no-look pass for Ja Morant. He didn't even need to do the no-look. That's how easy of a read this is. However, not many people will look at this and say that's the right play because he had Brook Lopez on him and he could have attacked. But this is the right play, and Jaren Jackson gets an easy layup because of it. But the flip side, sometimes his risk-taking works against him. Bad live ball turnovers, especially when he tries to thread the needle on impossible passes. On film, you'll notice he's most comfortable with rhythm pull-ups when defenders give him too much cushion. But the three-point shot still hasn't become a consistent weapon for him. Until it does, playoff defenses will shrink the floor on him. But does it really matter? Because he can still get to the rim and create. And we do see his float game and mid-range game starting to evolve. Let's flip to the defensive end. The film shows flashes that he can get in passing lanes. He has the vertical pop to contest at the rim, but his engagement comes and goes. For any upcoming players and coaches, one thing to learn from this is that you should never settle. And yes, we talked about Ja Morant's inability to really shoot the three ball or any jumper consistently. We're going to say that because this day and age, you're expected to shoot the three ball and shoot it well. He is playing above the rim and at the rim and still making a living and still the best player on his team. Now, another part of this is that, yes, there is room to improve. So, of course, I have improvements on here to reach the next level. And yes, there are levels to this. Now, I mentioned him being able to be crafty in the air during his hang time at the rim, but also the ability to use your shoulder and your body and even like footwork, handle, anything is ways to level yourself up to create more space. You shouldn't be one-dimensional, and you should look for ways to evolve your game. So what do we see on film? Ja Morant is one of the most explosive downhill guards in NBA history. A human highlight reel who bends defenses just by touching the paint. His next steps, refining the jumper, cutting down on turnovers, and staying engaged defensively, will determine whether he stays a star or becomes the guy every team fears in June. That's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the subscribe button, share with a fellow Hoops fan, and let us know who you want us to cover next. And remember, film never lies.